The one thing I always think about and talk to other amputees about is that there's no amputee owner's manual. Just being able to talk to somebody else that had gone through it.
They gave us a roadmap of where to go and what to ask and what to even think about.
The mission of Wiggle Your Toes is to help people with limb loss and their families to get adjusted to their new normal. What we do is provide peer support by sending people who've lived with limb loss to go visit people, and we also provide philanthropic support where we fund their needs.
We help them get in touch with multiple prosthetists. We provide lists of prosthetists or physical therapists in their area. It also has to do with the recovery process with your home. Is your bathroom easy for you to get around in? You know, getting in and out of the shower? Are your door jambs wide enough for if you need a wheelchair? Just making sure that everything's accessible for you.
Some people from the organization came down to visit me in the hospital and all that, and we just started having a conversation and went from there. They stepped up and put a ramp at my house, so that allowed me to get out of the hospital sooner. They had contractors and they knew people to come in, and they provided that support so I can go home and continue my recovery.
The value in being able to communicate with other amputees is key. It's learning. You've changed your physical nature, and now in order to learn how to do certain things or relearn how to do things, it's beneficial to have that mentor or another individual who's been through it. You become friends.
I remember not knowing anything and not really knowing what to expect at all about being an amputee or prosthetics in general. To see 2 or 3 people come walking in that I had no idea were missing limbs was a huge, huge moment for me. And that was when I realized that I was going to be able to be okay and get back to kind of a new normal and live a life that I wanted to live.
If you're an athlete, how do you do the things that you used to do before? How do you run? How do you walk? How do you lift weights?
When Luke wanted to ride a bike, he can't ride a normal bike, and so we asked Wiggle Your Toes, where do we find someone to help us with a bike? And within a couple weeks, Luke was riding around on his new bike.
Wiggle Your Toes has helped me by getting a bike because I can't use a regular one, and they've helped me get a running leg so I can start moving around more.
Being introduced back into skiing again was a big leap forward for me. But having the amputation and then talking to some of the other Wiggle members that had gone out skiing started my path back towards alpine skiing, and then that same year I ended up alpine racing again.
Wiggle has had the distinct opportunity to meet with the people who lost limbs from the Boston Marathon bombing. And when we heard about the number of people who are losing their limbs, several of us on the board said we need to help. And 8 days later, we were meeting with people at Boston Medical Center and Spalding Rehab. And what we saw were people whose strength and resilience was unmatched.
You know, with Wiggle Your Toes, there's several individuals who are amputees and can share that experience, and they say, you know, I am doing this, I am golfing, I am playing sports. There is a life beyond an amputation. That's what I took away from it, and that's kind of the impact it had on me is, you know, there's a lot more left in life. This isn't going to be the end of my very energetic, active lifestyle.
Why should you help Wiggle Your Toes? Because Wiggle Your Toes is a group of people who know what limb loss is like. And what we do is that we share that message to other people, and we know what they need. And so we would ask that you think about giving to Wiggle Your Toes, and we thank you for your support.